Welcome, fellow travelers, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we journey to Chiang Rai in the far north of Thailand, a province that feels like a secret whispered through the misty mountains, lush forests, and winding rivers, nestled near the borders of Laos and Myanmar. Chiang Rai is a place where hill tribe villagers dot the hillsides. Tea plantations stretch across the valleys, and Buddhist temples rise like jewels in green. Temples in Thailand are more than tourist attractions. They're living centers of faith, art, and community. In Chiang Rai, 3 temples stand out, not just for their beauty, but for their bold colors, visionary architecture, and deeply symbolic stories. You may have heard of the White Temple, or Wat Rong Khun. But did you know there's also a Blue Temple, or Wat Rong Suea Ten, and a dramatic Red Temple, Wat Huay Pla Kang? Each one is unique. Each one tells a different tale. And together, they make up a fascinating color trip that is a must visit. In this video, we'll explore the origins, the symbolism and architecture, and the spiritual heart of these 3 iconic temples. And then later, we'll take a peek into a nearby Long Neck Hill Tribe village, where you'll see traditional crafts, trinkets, and everyday lives of women whose stories are often less told. So sit back and enjoy, and let's dive into the magic of Chiang Rai's color temples. And hey, if you're enjoying this journey, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's begin with the most famous of the 3, Wat Rong Khun, better known as the White Temple. At first glance, it looks like something out of a dream, with gleaming white spires, mirrored glass sparkling in the sun, a bridge that seems to float over a sea of outstretched hands. But there's more to it than fairy tale beauty. Wat Rong Khun was entirely reimagined, and in many ways built from scratch, by Chalermchai Kositpipat, a local artist and national artistic treasure. The original temple on that site was in disrepair, and Chalermchai, returning to his hometown, decided to rebuild it as a personal offering. Not just a temple, but a living work of art. He began in 1997. He's invested tens of millions of baht of his own money, and artisans continue to work there. In fact, the master plan for the complex envisions 9 buildings, and the project may not be fully completed until around 2070. The name Wat Rong Khun roughly translates to the Temple of White. Rong means ditch or channel or canal. Khun means whiteness, but it's more evocative than literal. The white color represents purity. The mirrored shards signify enlightenment, and the design as a whole is a deeply symbolic journey. The main building is the Ubosot, or ordination hall, made from white plaster embedded with shards of mirrored glass. From afar, you might think it's carved from ice, but it's concrete whitewashed and glass. To enter, you cross a bridge over a small pond, which is not just decorative, but symbolic. Below, hundreds of sculptured hands reach up, representing unrestrained desire, suffering, and cycle of rebirth. At the end of the bridge is the Gate of Heaven, guarded by symbolic figures of death and Rahu, which is just a mythological figure who judges to death. A reminder that we must pass through judgment or transformation to step into something sacred. Flanking the pond are Chiang half human, half bird creatures, beautiful mythological protectors in Buddhist lore. Elsewhere in the compound, there is a golden building which Chalermchai explains represents the body and worldly desires. Gold here stands for materialism and attachment. Meanwhile, the white ubosot represents the mind, purity, and spiritual longing. Inside the ubosot, the murals are wild, surprising, and even playful, from traditional Buddhist themes to pop culture. You might spot Neo from The Matrix, Michael Jackson, Superman, even Hello Kitty, next to images of war, nuclear disaster, and moral decay. There's even a painting of the 9/11 towers being hit by planes. This unorthodox mix isn't for shock value alone. It's a moral commentary of modern life, greed, suffering, ethics, and the journey towards awakening. Chalermchai's temple is more than a tourist photo spot. He designed it as a center for meditation and learning, a place where people, Thai and foreign, can come and engage with Buddhist teachings, reflect on life's suffering, and ultimately walk the bridge from craving to clarity. The mirror shards shining in the sun allude to insight, reflection, and fragmented nature of the human mind. How soul-searching can turn shards of life into luminous wisdom. In May 2014, a powerful earthquake struck Chiang Rai, damaging parts of the temple. Chalermchai announced a partial restoration, which structures needed careful rebuilding. But the core was tactfully intact, and he pledged to continue his life's work on the site. Here's a fun and slightly quirky fact. Inside the White Temple's mural, Chalermchai painted pop culture's icon, from Spider-Man to Neo from The Matrix, Freddy Krueger, and even a T-800 Terminator. Why? To make a moral point. Modern society's idols, its violence, its tech obsessions, they're all part of the suffering cycle. It's like walking through a cathedral and Comic-Con at the same time. Before we move on, if you're enjoying this, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss more videos like this temple trip. Now let's turn from the white to the blue. Welcome to Wat Rong Suea Ten, known as the Blue Temple. It's less well known than its flashier sibling, but no less magical. And the story behind it is deeply rooted in local community myth and creativity. The Wat Rong Suea Ten sits in the Rong Suea Ten village, just a few kilometers from Chiang Rai City across the Mekong River. The site had an abandoned temple left derelict for decades. And in 1996, villagers came together and agreed to rebuild their place of worship, a spiritual center where they could make merit, pray, and meditate. Construction formally began in 2005, and after years of work, the main viharn, or assembly hall, was completed in January 2016. The name, Rong Suea Ten, is poetic and vivid. In Thai, Rong means groove or ditch. Suea means tiger, and Ten means dancing. The locals named the village for the dancing tigers of legend, tigers that supposedly used to leap over the nearby river. So the temple is often called the House of the Dancing Tiger. The architect behind Wat Rong Suea Ten is Puta Khabkao, also known as Sala Nok, who studied under Chalermchai Kositpipat of the White Temple. The design is a bold neo-traditional modern Buddhist style, deeply influenced by Chalermchai's work, but its own identity. The temple is drenched in vibrant blue with gold ornamentation, a combination rarely seen in classic Thai temples. You'll also find Naga, or a serpent staircase, traditional stucco mythological creatures, in the same blue and gold palette. Chedi, or stupa, behind the viharn, or main hall, is called Pratat Ketkau Chulamani. Construction reported started around 2012 and finished around 2014 and is about 20 meters high. Inside the main hall, there's a striking white Buddha, about 6.5 meters tall, surrounded by murals and imagery in blue tones. According to tourism authority sources, inside the statue are 88,000 smaller Buddha images and sacred relics buried beneath. The blue color is symbolic. It evokes the sky, tranquility, wisdom, and spiritual purity. The dance of the tiger in the name ties the temple to local lore and wildness, a reminder of nature, power, and transformation. The Naga staircase, or the serpent staircase, connect to classic Buddhist myth. Nagas are protectors, guardians of wisdom, and often present the flow of spiritual energy. The giant Buddha inside, with its treasure of smaller Buddhas and relics, emphasize unity, multiplicity, and the idea that enlightenment is both one and many. The countless beings may share the path. Here's a delightful tidbit. The Blue Temple's architect, Puta Khabkao, was a student of Chalermchai Kositpipat, the same visionary behind the White Temple. Some say the Blue Temple feels like a lighter, calmer sibling to the White Temple, more intimate, less crowded, but equally spiritual. The art is very similar, but the original artist probably doesn't mind. Finally, we arrive at the Red Temple, more formally known as Wat Huay Pla Kang, perched on a hill just outside Chiang Rai. This temple offers sweeping views, striking architecture, and a powerful spiritual presence in the form of a towering goddess of mercy. Wat Huay Pla Kang's story begins more recently than some ancient temples. It was established in 2001. The driving force behind its development was a monk known locally for his spiritual vision. Construction of the major structure, the Papchong Dharma Chedi, began in April of 2007 with community participation and took about 999 days to complete. The National Office of Buddhism officially recognized the complex as a temple on July 24, 2009, naming it Wat Huay Pla Kang. Huay Pla Kang literally refers to the stream in the region, and Pla Kang could be referencing local geographic or spiritual associations. Local sources don't always give a simple direct translation for Pla Kang, but the name has become widely used. People often call it the Red Temple because of its red-roofed pagoda and red tone in parts of the architecture, especially the 9-tiered pagoda, or Papchak Dhamma Chedi. The architecture is a fusion of Chinese Lana styles, an unusual but harmonious blend. The most visible and dramatic feature is the massive white statue of Guan Yin, the goddess of mercy, sometimes mistaken for Big Buddha. The statue stands about 79 meters tall, equivalent to a 25-story building. Inside the statue, there are multiple floors. You can ride an elevator up to enjoy a panoramic view from within her. Nearby is a 9-level pagoda in a pyramidal circular shape, not the standard square or round stupa. Its roof tiles are bright red, and the staircase up to it are flanked by Chinese dragons in gold and green. Inside each of the 9 floors are carved statues, Buddhas, monks, and even carved images of Guan Yin and other divinities. Between the pagoda and Guan Yin statues sits a Thai-style shrine hall, or viharn, housing large Buddha statues and many smaller idols with ornate decorations. The Guan Yin statue is deeply meaningful. In Mahayana Buddhism, Guan Yin, also spelled Kuan Yin, is the bodhisattva of compassion and mercy. Her presence here invites devotees to reflect on kindness, empathy, and spiritual support. The 9-level pagoda is more than ornamental. Its 9 floors could symbolize levels of spiritual attainment, the journey through life, or the cosmos. And the Chinese dragons guarding the stairways represent protection and spiritual strength. The pagoda also houses sacred relics and statues that encourage meditation, pilgrimage, and moral contemplation. Per local belief, many come to pray for health, prosperity, and blessings. This is very much a living temple with a dedicated community. Here's a fun and surprising thing. Locals call the on-site shuttle buses Hello Kitty shuttles because they're painted bright pink and covered in cute stickers. These little shuttles ferry visitors up the hill to the base of Guan Yin, making the climb easier, especially on a hot day for those less mobile. Also, some visitors report seeing a dinosaur-like statue surrounded by lambs on the temple grounds. There's a myth that it symbolizes ancient dragons and gentle lambs, a metaphor for power tempered by compassion. Whether it's myth or creative art, it adds to the colorful spiritual tapestry. Now, as our temple tour winds down, let's shift gears and walk into a very different but equally evocative place. A long neck hill tribe village, not far from Chiang Rai. Here you may see stalls lined with handmade crafts, trinkets, textiles, and traditional jewelry worn by long neck women, also known as Kayan Lawi. Here's what makes a visit to the long neck village so compelling. The village is part of a local hill tribe community where traditional weaving and handicrafts are still practiced, many of which are done by the women in the village. These crafts tell stories of migration, of culture, of resilience. In the markets, you'll see color scarves, woven fabrics, brass rings, and small figurines, each piece laden with meaning, each thread woven from tradition. Beyond commerce, you might have glimpsed daily life, children playing, elders weaving, women working. It's not just a tourist stop. It's a living community adapted to modern tourism while striving to preserve identity. The long neck or the Kayan women are often photographed wearing their distinctive brass coils around their necks. These coils are culturally significant, associated with beauty, identity, and tradition, but also raise important questions about tourism, representation, and agency. As we leave their village, there's a quiet lesson. Temples are more than architecture. They are reflections of belief, and villages are more than photo ops. They're reflections of people. Both are intertwined in the tapestry of northern Thailand, where art meets faith and where tradition continues to breathe in new ways. According to local legend, the reason the long-necked women wear the brass rings around their neck is for protection. Apparently, a tiger killed one of the women long ago and attacked her neck. Hence, the brass rings around their neck. These rings are cultural tradition, and the women, they start wearing the rings as young as 6 or 7 years old. And as they get older, they continue to extend the size of their rings, which pushes down on their torso, which gives the appearance of having a longer neck. As we leave their village, there is a quiet lesson. Temples are more than architecture. They're reflections of belief. And villages are more than photo ops. They're reflections of people. Both are intertwined in tapestry of northern Thailand, where art meets faith and where tradition continues to breathe in new ways. So thank you so much for coming along on this colorful journey through Chiang Rai. From the luminous white temple to the tranquil blue temple and the dramatic red temple. And finally, to the heart and soul of the Hill Tribe village. I hope this video gives you more of an understanding of the temples in Chiang Rai and meaning into the lives of the hill tribes of northern Thailand, and not just clips of pretty places. If you enjoyed this, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done it already. It supports the channel more than you know. Also, hit the notification bell so you don't miss future travel adventures, where we dive deeper into hidden corners, spiritual sites, and human stories. Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning about beauty that lies beyond the guidebook. Sawadee krab and safe travels.